Hi guys, and welcome back to Homie. We're on our episode 2, guys. Yay! I'm your host, Errineisha Taylor, and these are my lovely co-hosts. We have Misty Johnson here. Hey. Julie Joseph.
What's going on, guys?
And Johnathan Hill.
Let's go.
And we're excited about this episode, guys. We actually gonna talk about relationships today.
Yes.
Relationships,
Oh,
like
nice.
we know situationships.
Okay.
We know how that is. So when I thought about the relationship topic, I was like, dang, this really gonna be fire, because so many people in relationships, so many people running out of relationships, so many people have a bad image of it, and some people just soaked in love right now. So
Amen.
with that being said, I really just want to ask a question, like, since all of us, we single, right? You single?
Yeah.
You single?
I'm single.
You single?
Yep.
I'm single. I'm ready to mingle. I'm just playing. But seriously, how do you know, being that we're all single, and I'm sure that we don't want to be alone, we wasn't made to be alone, how do you know when you're even ready to be in a relationship? Like the real feeling of knowing that you want to be in a relationship. Not just to say that you like the feeling of love, but how do you know if you're truly ready to like step on that thing?
I think that comes in when you get to the point where you're not looking for somebody just to not be alone. I feel like we've all had that point in our life where we were young or just not really sure of ourselves, and we just were like, oh shoot, I'm gonna end up alone, so let me find somebody, let me get entertainment, let me just have a companion. You're not really looking for a partner in life. So when you get to that point where you're like, you know what, I got everything I need, I'm secure in me, I have, like, financially, whatever the case may be, I got it myself, I just want someone to share it with. I think that's when you are really ready to be in a relationship, at least a committed one. Now, if you're just looking for play, then, you know, do whatever, but...
You want to basically give your all to someone else as well.
Right, like...
That's the hardest.
Yes.
The hardest thing is not being able to be, you know, with a companion. Like with me, if I use myself as an example, when you want to be everything going right, everything good, you just want a companion.
Mm-hmm.
I just want somebody to be there. And I'm still the same with myself. I'm still able to be by myself, go places by myself and everything. But for me, I'm just the type of guy that loves to be in a relationship.
Okay.
So that part right there is just like finding a companion that's trustworthy. We can roll. Just like that.
I like that.
That was really good, and you were really honest about that. And I feel like for me, I'm the total opposite. It's so difficult for me to get in a relationship, and I know at this point I'm not ready because I have a problem with just that space type of thing. Like, or even when a man starts to get too latchy. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
oh, where you
Yeah.
going, what you doing? I don't like telling people where I'm going, what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, how I move. So I think I have not been successful in my relationships because of that part right there. Like,
You just want to
please.
make sure you're good.
That's cool, but I know I'm good. Like, I can make sure I'm good.
I
You
think
know?
it's a give and a take. You got to find that balance
Yeah.
of him not hounding you,
Right.
like
Yeah.
trying to be your warden about where you
different,
going,
yeah.
what you're doing, let me clock your hours,
Yeah.
to I'm just concerned about your whereabouts because I love you and I just want you to be safe wherever you
Mhm.
are.
Yeah.
And see, that's why I think that being in a relationship will require you to know that the whole form of it is for a help me. God calls it a help me for the man to have a person to come and bring in a balance and to help you. And like Johnathan said, if you're in a place where you can be by yourself and go places you just want that help me, that's what it
Right.
sounded like to me, that you wanted just that comfort of having that person, but it wasn't that, you know, you need them there.
Right.
You gotta have them there.
Mhm.
It's just something that you prefer.
A nice accessory.
Yeah.
Not to cheapen it, but you know what I'm saying.
And then when you get into a place where you need that relationship, or it's just the word need, then it becomes obligation. And sometimes with obligation comes a bit of failure or lack. And then when it comes to the end, or if that person is not giving you what you're looking for because you need, then throw the whole relationship away. You feel what I'm saying? At that point.
It's like going to a job you don't like because you need the money. I can't stand this job, but I need the money.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna be
that
there,
part right
but
there.
like, you know what I'm saying? Once you get to that, like, necessity part of it, and it's not really a want, it just kind of takes the love out of the whole predicament, because it's like, what am I here for? I can go find whatever you're giving me from somebody else plus love.
Right.
All right. Question. I'm the only guy here, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I have a question for you ladies, and I have a question for the ladies watching. So let's say you're friends, you know, with a young lady and everything like that. We're having fun. We're grown here. We're doing grown things. Let's say, for instance, the young lady asks, "What are we now?" I'm like, "Oh, I just want to chill. I want to start my foundation. Let's just take it slow." So my question would be is, why most women want to sit back and be like, "Oh, I'm gonna run. I'm gonna run." They may think that the guy don't want to be with them, or necessarily the guy does want to be with them, but he just want to take it slow and build his foundation. What y'all think on that?
Girl.
I am
For me,
prepared for this.
You know
answer.
why? Because if you are a person who has been in and out of relationships, or you experienced being in a place of dealing with someone that's playing games with you, you're gonna want to know, like, what are you doing? What are you doing? What is your expectations out of this relationship? And a lot of times we fail to even realize the fact that guys really do think differently than what we do. So your mindset is that, and so we're like, okay, so what do you mean? Like, what is this? What is it gonna be? Because the anticipation that person has probably already waited for you. I don't want to play with, and it's not let's get married.
Right.
It's basically what is your expectation?
Anticipation. I like the way you use that.
Let's move forward. Like I see where we're on a good track, because I know most women aren't looking to rush things, and we want to have a solid foundation as well. But when that phrase, "Oh, I'm just chilling," "Oh, I'm just whatever,"
that's a slap.
That comes across as, I'm not trying to do this. I'm not looking for nothing serious. I'm really chilling. I'm trying to play the field. I'm trying to do what I do. It ain't nothing like that. And so it's hard for a woman to accept that and receive it as, no, I really just want to take things slow.
Right.
It's not going to be received as I'm trying to build.
Okay, what you got?
And for me, I feel like, just like I said on the last episode, if that's a man's feelings, say that in the beginning, so the expectation can be, "Oh, you just chilling. You're not really looking for nothing. We just really chilling.
Yeah.
Let's not do the extra."
I'm glad you said that.
If we chilling, I don't want to do the extra. You
I'm
feel
about
me?
to rebuttal this. I'm glad you said that.
Go ahead, do your thing.
You said, let's say we did say that from the beginning.
Okay.
Okay. You start a relationship, you're hanging out, y'all having fun, and next thing you know, y'all do what y'all do, and now they're attached.
Girl,
this guy.
I know you're lying.
No,
No.
sir.
I'm this is my little phrase.
Now you have this going on. What's next?
I feel like I'm so happy we have a man at this table, because I've been wanting to know what y'all be thinking, like, for real. But I feel like this: if you going into it saying you chilling and you said that from the beginning, then this relationship should be platonic. There should not be no, and then we get to that little thing or whatever, and now you attached. Ain't no little thing should be going on at that point, because I feel like you let me know that you just chilling. Chilling don't involve that little thing. It don't involve, we just chilling. We watching Netflix, we chilling, we vibing, we going here and there, we dating or whatever. But you let me know that you want to chill. So I'm not going to do that little thing or get to that I'm not going to give you that part of me if you've already let me know that that's not what you're looking for. Because we know, let's just be real, with sexual content, with anything sexual, it will cause you to be attached. So if you giving me and letting me know that your feelings are not that, then I'm not about to give you that. Because I know me, right? We know women, when that happens, that's a wrap. You feel what I'm saying? For this type of woman, okay?
But not even for all women, though, because I know, like, there's been situations where guys have been like, so, like, what it is, and, like, all they facing you, like, no, I've explained to you clearly, like, I'm not, no, I've clearly stated, like, I'm living my life. So I think it just depends on the person. When those feelings, if y'all are doing that and the feelings do arise, I think if y'all are so cool and comfortable, whatever the case may be, y'all need to be at a level where you can express, hey, my feelings have gotten deeper. Hey, I feel as though,
absolutely.
I think we should take it further. And if we're not looking, or if you're not looking to do that, then maybe we should separate because I've gotten too involved. So I think that needs to be
I
a part of that discussion.
I can agree with that. I can honestly agree with that.
I wanted to hear it from a man's perspective, but you have anything else on that? Because I'm all about hearing the man speak. Cause
We
ladies,
each other all day.
get on your seats.
I have another one that came to my mind.
Mm-hmm.
So why do we get upset when, for as male and female, when we're friends with someone, right? But then we expect them to be, oh, this person's loyal and trustworthy and everything like that, and then they show a side and do a 360 turn that, oh, this person did this, not not. You know, so why are we so upset with that? For us, whether it's the opposite.
So wait, let me ask you this. When you say a 360 turn, you mean in the form of watching that person be involved with someone else?
And someone else, and they just start being fake towards that person. Now they just start showing your true colors. Basically.
Oh, so like y'all cool or whatever, and then they start talking to somebody, and now they're not so cool with you.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
Okay, see, that sounds like that is where the miscommunication is coming in, because in the beginning, if you would say, this is what my expectations are in this relationship, you know, because a lot of times men feel like they have to play games. So like, let's say we're texting and we're just having conversations. If you throw it in there, like, you know, I have friends, because a woman usually will ask you, are you dating anybody?
Of course,
You know, what's going on in your life? That's usually the first foundational questions and things that go forward when you meet. So you should say, I have friends, I'm talking to people. That way her mind already knows what to expect from you.
Absolutely.
Honestly, from the beginning.
From the
Definitely.
beginning.
And that's what I feel. I feel as though if you set it out there to let the person know what is there, then the expectation level is less on you or less on the woman, because you're letting them know from the get-go, this is what it is. Let's not get that twisted. That way, nobody ends up hurt.
Right.
And I feel a lot of the times the communication is missed. That's why so many people are out here torn and ripped from relationships. And I always use this as an example. People get position mixed up with title. God may place somebody in a position in your life to be there, to be the financial person, to help you get this place and that place if you don't have a car or whatever, doing whatever they're doing in your life, playing a position. But then you're trying to give this person a title as your man or your woman just because they play in a position. That's they role at the time to just do that for you. But in your mind, you getting stuck on that because of what they're doing for you. So don't ever get title and position mixed up. And I feel like a lot of people fail when they do that.
But just to jump back to your question, with that, if it wasn't clearly stated that y'all were actually friends, if this is like a boo friend, whatever type of situation, and one of the other person does actually get in a relationship, they are going to start treating you a bit differently, because now it's a conflict of interest. So now me having excessive contact with you, or like seeing you hanging out, whatever, that could be perceived as cheating or whatever the case may be. Or that person's partner said, hey, I'm not comfortable with y'all's interaction because I know y'all have a history of having feelings for one another. So that may be, and they're like, oh, well, I chose you, so our relationship is a bit more valuable right now.
Glad you said that, because that could relate to something in the past that happened. Like you say, that person got with somebody, and everything, you start seeing them. Of course, we're going to be cordial and everything. Like, I'm going to respect your relationship. You know, I'm still going to check on you every now and then, because that's just the type of guy I am, the type of person I am. I just want to check on you. But to actually see it and hear that this person is in a relationship. Like, oh, you're in a relationship? And most men be like, it's cool. I ain't sweating. But then you see them, oh, man. Y'all together? I'm not feeling this, man. I won't leave. You know, so most men are really like that, but most men are not going to say that because we're too prideful of that. We're not going to allow, I'm not sensitive, I'm not soft. But it's okay to be all of that mixed in one. You know, most men seem like they got to be, you agree?
You can express your feelings without being hypersensitive or emotional.
That's true.
Not too sensitive.
But you can't be, okay, so like, I got in a relationship, and this guy I was talking to prior, like we'd fallen off, and after I was in a relationship, he would text me and be like, oh, so you got a boyfriend? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, oh, okay, well, just know I'm always be your friend. All right, like, what? Like we fell off for a reason, you know what I'm saying? And then it's that constant hounding, it's almost like you feel played.
Mm-hmm.
You feel big played. It's not even that you want me so bad or you like me so much. Like I know you did at one point, but at this point I feel like you're trying to feed your ego and you're trying to see if I could play the game and pull her back from whatever it was.
We probably could have messed up. You probably could have messed up as well.
Which y'all usually do.
And not realize it until that special lady left. Because that's what most men we do. We'll see her, she's happy with somebody else, like you said, you was happy, you was good. Oh, you remember I'll always be your friend and everything like that. That's cool, but you messed up. Because I've been that person. I can honestly say I've been that person. I realized I messed up and everything like that. Oh, I just want you in a relationship. Alright, I'll check back next year.
No, like
that's what some people do, man.
That's what it feels like. It's like, oh, I'm gonna always be your friend. I'm just gonna be over here until you get your mind right. Like, no.
So let me ask y'all this. How do y'all feel since you talked about when you were in a relationship, one of your ex texted you while you were in a relationship saying we can still be friends? How do y'all feel about that? Do y'all feel like that is a red zone or y'all gonna give it the go just because he spoke of the word being a friend? Do you think that's acceptable in a relationship?
I feel as though it depends on the people. I don't think it depends on the level of friend. I feel like people use the term friend very loosely.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
And a friend defined to me is somebody you can count on, somebody you can lean on, somebody who has a certain level of loyalty to you, trustworthy, so on and so forth.
Right.
I don't think there's anything wrong with being cordial with an ex. We don't have to harbor ill feelings toward one another.
Correct.
But in terms of, oh, let me call you so we can go hang out, ain't none of that about to happen.
Nah.
Because we as people, and especially in this day and age, how we function, there's a lot of sex and things involved in relationships, and it causes soul ties that we all know about. And when you spend excessive time with a person, those feelings may re-arise.
Okay.
And why would you even leave room for that? You know what I'm saying? Like, why would you even leave room for yourself to mess up your current situation?
I like how you said soul ties and the fact that you said that we all know about that. We may at this table, but a lot of people don't know about soul ties. So I think we definitely should elaborate on that, what a soul tie is. Would you feel comfortable elaborating on that?
Definitely, because I've seen the manifestation of an ex or something come back after, like, let's say I'm praying about God remove the soul ties so that I can be ready for the next person that comes, and I will see these people out in public like the day after and different things like that. And that may seem small, but to me it lets me know that I haven't seen you all this time, and it was kind of like God's way of saying that it's still something there. It could be a level of forgiveness that I have to give to that person because they've hurt me. It could be a list of different things, and I know that I want to be in a relationship and be whole in a relationship. And so if I'm still holding on to feelings, I don't want to bring it back in. That's kind of like feeling like the level of rejection. If we just start out on a texting and talking, and you said in the beginning, I may have other friends or so far so on, and I'm feeling some type of way because you have other friends, and I think this is you're the one, and I want to hold on to you, and you rejected me. I'm not ready for a relationship, because you have to be open to know that whoever it is, it's just going to be them, if that makes sense. And I feel like soul ties affect that. Did that make sense of what I just said?
Yeah, it did. And a lot of people do not know about soul ties. They don't know the severity of it. That's why people around here just wilding,
so frivolous,
having sex with any and everybody, and women putting themselves out there like that, and men just as worse, slinging themselves out there because they don't know how important it is.
Wow.
About a soul tie. Once you have sex with a person, and even in the word it tells you that you married this person.
Yeah.
So sex is the thing that lets you know that you're married. It consecrates the marriage.
Yeah.
So if you're around here having sex with multiple partners,
Mm-hmm.
then you're marrying all these people. So you tied to whatever they got going on. They ain't even got to tell you. One day you wake up unfamiliar to yourself. You wondering why you mad. Y'all just had sex or whatever like that. You wake up the next morning, you mad, you pissed off, and it's like
why I feel like this, man?
Mm-hmm.
Why I feel like this?
All these unfamiliar feelings, like say you've never dealt with any type of depression, anything like that ever in your life.
Mm-hmm.
Now you've had sex with this person, you don't know their full background, you don't know the things they deal with, they battle with on a day-to-day basis, and then you're like, why am I feeling so sunken,
so heavy?
and that's you pulled all of those emotions, all of those demons, and made them a part of yourself essentially by giving yourself to that person. So I think it's really important once we learn these things, because of course I know there was a point in time when none of us knew what this was and the depth of it. So I think it's really important once you learn about it, you be cautious and you be mindful of what's going on a deeper level.
I think it's the physical attraction. That's the main key that most people have to get, divided into. You gotta look at the physical side, but you also gotta look at the inner side, the soul side. So if I'm seeing you from afar and I'm like, man, yeah, I'm like, 9 times out of 10, we're thinking something else.
Mm-hmm.
We're not even thinking about, oh, I wonder what a soul is. What she like to do for her fun?
Yeah.
What excites her? You know what I'm saying? So it gets to the point to where like your mind is the main key. So my thing would be like this. I got another question. Would you, if you're in a relationship, would you let your spouse have female friends? Or let's say, for instance, that he been friends with this person longer than he been knowing you.
Can I say something?
And
Go ahead. Finish your question. I got
now,
this one.
Now that they never done anything, they just real friends and everything like that. Would you still allow that your spouse to have a friendship with that?
Can I say that?
Go ahead.
Okay, so I have literally been in that place. The person, it wasn't their spouse, but it was a girlfriend, right?
Okay.
And I felt the awkwardness. I knew she felt the awkwardness when I would be at events with them or anything. And that's because of the intuition that's there, because I knew that individual had deeper feelings for me than just a friendship. From just because I feel like when men and women collaborate and there is a level of trust there is things that has gone forth, like life situations, just time, you're gonna feel something. And if you're attracted to each other, that's already a +1 on the no wait list. Like you can't get in line because as a friend, because I feel like it's too many. It's like the enemy gonna use anybody. It's too much. Like he's gonna come in. Temptation. Exactly.
That's definitely a big word. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to say something and answer your question. Mm-hmm. You said, is it cool for your spouse to have female friends?
Right.
I don't think it's cool for your spouse, because at that point you're my spouse. I don't think that you should have female friends outside of the ones that I know about who are also married.
Right.
And in their relationship, because they know the severity of crossing the line. Single women are more loosely with that. Mm-hmm. And not speaking on all single women, because I know us at this table, we're not that way, but I just feel like I don't think it's safe for your spouse to have a female friend under those circumstances. No, I'll just say no. It's not safe. To me, it's not safe.
For me, I think that's another one of those, it depends on the people type of thing. I know there are men who are very strictly platonic with the females that have been in their lives. Like they don't see them in that manner. But I think it's very important that the girlfriend has a relationship with those females.
Mm-hmm.
It shouldn't be, no, this is just my friend.
Yeah. Right.
And I never spent no time around her. I don't really know nothing about her. I think it's very important. There has to be a comfort level between all of you guys. Mm-hmm. It can't, when I come around you, I shouldn't feel awkward. Mm-hmm. When I come around you, I shouldn't feel as though you're looking at him like you shouldn't be. Right. When I come around, I shouldn't feel those things. Mm-hmm. So if I'm in your presence, if we're in the same space, And we don't, and we all know as women, as men, as people, we all do have intuitions. It's really just up to you to choose to listen to it or not.
Right.
And if your intuition is telling you red flag, red flag, red flag, then maybe that's something you need to address and dive in deeper with your partner and say like, hey, you know, what's the history, what's really going on. But I don't think there's anything wrong with it as long as everything is very clearly stated and understood, and there's a relationship between all parties.
I mean, I think that's really good. I think what you said was very profound. But I would say this, just so nobody don't get it twisted. It does not mean that you're insecure, because not all the time it's insecurities that make you feel as though your spouse or whatever should have outside friends that I just feel like outside friends, period, that you don't know about just shouldn't be friends. Because that way they're not your friends. If I don't know about them, that's not your friend.
You gotta know
about you can't be that
something
close.
not right about that, you know. And
I
I appreciate you saying the awkwardness, because that should never be a feeling. If this is my spouse and you have a friend that's coming around us, I shouldn't feel awkward, especially since you've made me feel secure that I'm your woman and you're my man and we are who we are and there's nothing that can break this. There's no way I should feel awkward. So at that point in time, something's not right.
Right.
That's definitely a red, green, and a blue flag that I ain't about to deal with.
Like,
not this time.
And then if you have a spouse, I think that it may be okay, but there has to be those boundaries that's there in the midst of your relationship. Boundaries are key. Like, you shouldn't be calling my man phone at 8 o'clock, or he shouldn't be interacting with you at that time. It's just that's just boundaries.
Boundaries are very important.
I completely 100% agree with that, because I actually had a situation like that, and I can admit that at the time I was dealing with a lot of insecurity, but at the same time my sound mind itself was like, nah, this is not just me and insecurity solely. Like, this is I don't necessarily care for this. Where my boyfriend at the time, his friend had called him. It was around like 10 o'clock, something like that. And so like my unsound mind like clicked out and texted the girl and was like, hey, I don't think girl, I really felt some type of way, and I was like, I don't think this is, you should be calling him this late. If you had a boyfriend, do you think he would really want you doing X, Y, Z, or Z? And she got super offended by that, and I can admit I was really wrong for that. But she and I actually, I was wrong for handling it like that. But long story short, she and I actually ended up having a conversation. Everything was completely like understood. Like, you know what? Like, yeah, you was tripping, but I feel where you're coming from, because I'm a girl too. I get it, and ain't nobody worry about him. He poop.
See, that's the thing. If you see that with your guy and everything like that, same thing like if a man sees that with his woman, a man hitting her up and everything like that, you should never text or never confront that person, in my opinion. I feel like you should check the spouse. Because if you check, I've been in that situation more than 3 times.
Yikes.
Where I was talking to the young lady and didn't even know that she was in a relationship.
Oh, wow.
Honestly, did not know. Friends and everything like that. And I'm getting checked on social media. I'm like, hold on, you in my DMs? That's kind of weird. I don't do that. You know, so you check, man, don't call my girl, don't text all that. Hold on, homie. You gotta check that. You never check that person. You speak directly to your spouse.
So that's why I say I was wrong, because I did check him, but I said, you know what, F this, he's not gonna do it right, and so I went ahead and did it myself.
But you know what?
But it was a learning experience.
I wouldn't say you was completely wrong, because I feel like we talked about the boundaries. We talked about there should be an open space of where you feel comfortable with that person. If we comfortable,
and I hadn't met her at that point.
Okay.
I had heard a lot about her. We knew of each other. We knew about each other. I had heard her voice on the phone, but we had never met at that point in time.
Oh, okay.
So that's why I was like, well, you know, what's really good? Like, you know, what's going on? And I felt some type of way. And so I was like, girl, bye.
My antennas started sticking up. Wow.
And so I was like, well, no, he's not going to do it right. He too nonchalant about it. Like, I didn't like the way he responded. He was very calm, like, okay, you know, I'm going to handle it. And I was just like, man, he ain't about to handle it.
there's really that side of the relationship to where, you know, you're texting and doing all that type of stuff. I've actually been in that position, and I know we spoke earlier about, you know, the man having, or your spouse having friends outside of what y'all have or whatever. I've actually been in that experience, had that experience, and been on the other side of that, whereas the friend actually had to help me out in the situation. The friend had to come and stay with my fiance and I, and she's actually the one who helped me get away, because towards the end of our relationship, it became very abusive. So he, at the time when I was being abused, that friend that I really didn't like, not because I was insecure, but because I feel as though he didn't tell me enough about her, but they had been friends for a long time. And she had to stay in our house during the season of Mardi Gras. And I was feeling all these ways about her, but on the other side, that was the person who actually helped me get away from him. And still to this day, we still keep in contact. So there is a different side from that more positive side, if you look at it from that way.
I'm glad you said that, because that's why I say, boy, God, the Spirit moves. Cause that led down to another question that came in mind. Glad you got out of that as well, because not two women, because that's a part of the question. Why do most women stay in a physical or mentally or vocally abusive relationship? And, you know, sometimes they go to the friend, like, say, for instance, with me, I tell them, like, you got to get out of that. Even though it's easier said than done. Don't get me wrong. It's very easy said than done. But why do most women decide to stay? Because that, as a man, for me, I don't take that lightly.
When you lose your mind, once you lose your mind, you lost everything. And with abuse comes a deterioration of your thought process, of your security, of your confidence, of all of those things, of yourself. So once you lose yourself, anybody can tell you anything. A man can come and slap you across the face and say, "But baby, I love you so much," and you'll be like, "You know what? He probably does love me so much," and you'll run back right into it. It's almost mind control. It's brainwashing. You become brainwashed, and you don't. It takes a lot to build up that strength on your own accord to say, you know what, enough is enough, and it's hard to listen to other people and to listen to intervention and things like that when you're in that type of space. When you're so closed off and broken down, you can't hear anything other than the one that's controlling you.
And then it plays a part as if that person has been that only thing there.
Right.
When you couldn't go to people who you feel as though should have been there from the get-go, like your parents or your family, when they turn their back, that abusive man who didn't show himself, or the abusive woman who didn't show themselves as abusive, they come in as a rescue. So in that part, they have you in your most vulnerable state. So in that, they can play with your mind in all types of ways, because they know you don't have anything. They know how you came into the relationship, and they know the role that they've played in the relationship, so they have full control.
Right.
So at this point, if I'm beating you, I know for a fact I have that much control over you. You're going to stay, so I don't care how much I'm affecting you or hurting you. I know you're going to be here. And the woman or the man who's the one who's getting abused, they feel as though you're really all I have. If I leave this place,
what am I going to do?
What am I going to do?
Where am I going to go? What am I going to have? Because it's like the person that's the abuser is never going to come in as an abuser.
Right.
The abuser is going to come in as
charmer,
the saver, the rescuer, the charmer, the I'm giving you flowers every day. I'm calling you, checking up on you, seeing how you doing. I'm getting in real good. So when the bad time comes, it's, but baby, didn't I do this for you?
Right.
But didn't I show you this?
Bringing up stuff.
Didn't I? Right. Let me bring up all the good stuff I did. I'm probably not really doing anymore. I might get you a flower after I punch your eye out. Maybe just to stay cool or whatever. But like, you know what I'm saying?
I really like how you mentioned the part of losing yourself. The part of not knowing who you are, not being whole, not even being able to think. If you don't know who you are, and that goes back to our first question, if you do not know who you are, then there's no way you should invite somebody in to be in a relationship. You need to take some time to get to date you, to know who you are, to become whole in yourself, to love you first before you can give any love to anybody else. And I feel like that's very selfish when people step out knowing that they're not completely where they need to be in their mental state. Don't matter about finances and all that. Stability there, stability here is when you know that you need to be in a relationship. Stability here lets you know if you should be able to be in a relationship. That should be all the confirmation you need. I love myself enough to have room to love somebody else. You feel what I'm saying? Like I don't think it's safe.
You shouldn't be trying to give love to other people to say I'm good enough.
To validate yourself, because then it becomes validation. If you don't know who you are, then you're going to validate yourself in that person. And that person becomes your anchor. So that person starts to play the role of God. You depend on them for everything.
Right.
So once they have that complete mind control, like she said once you lose your mind, I feel like once you lose your head, it's all over. Like when you lose your head, you're completely dead. You're brain dead. Once you're brain dead, you're defeated.
That makes so much sense.
And that happens a lot in relationships. So a lot of people around here brain dead, trying to get in relationships, thinking these people are gonna come and replenish, and that's not supposed to be their role. So, guys, I think that was amazing. I mean, I love expressing ourselves and getting that off, and that is definitely. Yeah, we may have a part 2 of the relationship because I feel like that was pretty good.
I have some more things.
So that was our episode 2 of relationships. We hope you guys really enjoyed, and we'll see you next time.
Take care, guys.